Article 645 addresses information technology equipment and its installation. It specifically allows for the use of non-plenum cord and plug from information technology equipment to under raised floor receptacles, even within a plenum space, provided certain conditions are met. These conditions are primarily outlined in sections 645.2, 645.5 and 645.5 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Let's delve into each of these sections to understand the specific requirements. Section 645.2 focuses on the characteristics of flexible cords and cables used in data processing areas. It mandates that these flexible cords and cables must be listed as suitable for extra-hard usage. This listing ensures that the cords are robust enough to withstand the demands of a data center environment, where they might be subject to frequent movement, bending, and potential abrasion. Furthermore, the cords and cables must be moisture-resistant. Data centers, while climate-controlled, can still experience humidity and condensation, especially in underfloor spaces. Moisture resistance prevents the degradation of the cord's insulation, which could lead to electrical hazards. The third requirement specified in 645.2 is that the cords and cables must be oil-resistant. This is particularly important in environments where equipment maintenance is performed, as oil spills and leaks can occur. Oil resistance ensures that the insulation of the cord is not compromised by exposure to oil, which could also lead to electrical hazards. To summarize, Section 645.2 sets the standard for the quality and durability of flexible cords and cables used in data processing areas, requiring them to be listed for extra hard usage, moisture resistance, and oil resistance. Section 645.5 addresses the permissible uses and limitations of flexible cords and cables within a data processing area. It explicitly states that flexible cords and cables can only be used for connecting data processing units within the data processing area itself. This means that these cords cannot be used for general wiring purposes or for supplying power to other types of equipment outside of the data processing environment. This limitation is in place to ensure that the cords are used in a controlled and supervised environment where their performance and safety can be more effectively monitored. Additionally, 645.5 imposes a length restriction on the flexible cords and cables. The maximum permissible length for a flexible cord or cable used to connect data processing units is 10 feet, or 3.5 meters. This length limitation is intended to minimize the risk of excessive cord slack, which can create tripping hazards and increase the potential for damage to the cord. By limiting the length of the cords, the code aims to maintain a tidy and safe environment within the data processing area. In essence, Section 645.5 defines the scope of permissible uses for flexible cords and cables in data processing areas, restricting their application to the connection of data processing units and limiting their length to a maximum of 10 feet. Section 645.5 pertains to the branch circuits that supply power to underfloor receptacle assemblies within a data processing area. It mandates that these branch circuits must be rated at 20 amps. This rating ensures that the circuits have sufficient capacity to handle the power demands of the data processing equipment connected to the underfloor receptacles. Using a lower amperage rating could result in overloading the circuit, which could lead to overheating, breaker tripping, and potential fire hazards. Furthermore, 645.5 stipulates that the branch circuits supplying underfloor receptacle assemblies must be protected by a listed circuit breaker or fuse. This protective device must have a rating that does not exceed 20 amps. The purpose of the circuit breaker or fuse is to interrupt the flow of electricity in the event of an overcurrent or short circuit. This protects the wiring, equipment, and personnel from electrical hazards. The requirement for a listed circuit breaker or fuse ensures that the protective device has been tested and certified to meet safety standards. The maximum rating of 20 amps is consistent with the branch circuit rating and ensures that the circuit breaker or fuse will trip before the wiring is overloaded. Therefore, Section 645.5 focuses on the electrical safety of underfloor receptacle assemblies in data processing areas, requiring branch circuits rated at 20 amps and protected by a listed circuit breaker or fuse not exceeding 20 amps. In conclusion, to use non-plenum cord and plug from information technology equipment to under-raised floor receptacles within a plenum space, Article 645 requires adherence to specific conditions outlined in Sections 645.2, 645.5 and 645.5. Firstly, the flexible cords and cables must be listed as suitable for extra hard usage, moisture resistance, and oil resistance, as specified in 645.2. Secondly, the flexible cords and cables can only be used to connect data processing units within the data processing area, and their length must not exceed 10 feet, or 3.5 meters, as stated in 645.5. Thirdly, the branch circuits supplying the underfloor receptacle assemblies must be rated at 20 amps and protected by a listed circuit breaker or fuse with a maximum rating of 20 amps, as mandated in 645.5. Meeting all of these requirements ensures that the installation is safe, compliant, and suitable for the data processing environment.